What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm going to do another video commentary today. It's been a while since I actually did a commentary solely for the sake of doing a commentary. And I want to talk about the new fad in the world today called Knockout. Well, what is Knockout? Knockout is basically where a youth or a group of youths walk around the streets of major cities. I think New York and Philadelphia are the big ones in America, and London is a big one in England. They walk around the streets and they pick a mark out, and that mark is a person that they're going to basically hit one time in an attempt to knock them out. When I was growing up, we had games like this. We had B word. That was the game we had in my school, and basically, if you said a B word such as baby, bull, or basket, you had to say B word, or you were open to be hit. But we didn't hit each other in the face. We hit each other in the arms. And like, some people took B word to an extreme. And I think the cases that you're seeing on stuff like Fox News and the TV where people are dying or getting knocked out, they're showing the most extreme example of this game. Obviously, it's a horrible game. But some people just can't handle this stuff. I remember a guy named Timothy. He was handing out papers, and I think it was like 6th grade. He was handing out papers to the class. I think it was like a math test or something. And while he was handing out papers, somebody said "but" or something like that. Some word that started with a B, and he didn't say B word. Timothy dropped the entire math papers right there and just boom, drilled him. It's one of those hard drills that kind of sounded like a thud. And I remember the teacher got so upset at him. And the kid right there was the kind of kid that didn't play the B word game, so he kind of had to get into it. But some kids take it too far, and I feel like this is where these kids are messing up. And that brings me to my next point in this video is, why are videos like the one you're watching right now bad for combating the knockout game? The reason that it's bad is because people see this in a much broader audience. People will basically see this video, think, oh, that's cool, I want to try it. And especially not even like my spectrum. My spectrum of this is small compared to the stage that something like Fox News has, ABC News has, or CNN. These guys have millions upon millions of viewers every day. They're the in and out source for news for a large amount of people in the world. Millions of people in the world. And they show these things, and kids watch this as well. They see that, the people falling lifeless, and they're like, oh man, that's a good time. Because in reality, it probably would give you an adrenaline rush just to walk up and hit somebody and see if you knocked them out. And even then, you'd have, cohorts that would be giving you high fives, and that'd be something fun to think back to. Like, remember that time Bobby knocked that one dude out? Everybody has one of these stories. Every person you probably ever will walk up to that can tell you some sort of story where they have knocked somebody out or they got in a fight of some sort. And maybe that's just me being in a redneck area that I live in, but most around here that's what happens. But I feel like giving these people this kind of exposure, or this game this kind of exposure, is a bad thing, and it's just going to cause more cases. So basically, you'd have to make it more drastic. So how do you stop a game like Knockout when public opinion is no effect on it? I mean, like crack cocaine. People know crack cocaine is bad. People know like methamphetamines eat out your teeth and shit. That doesn't make them stop doing it. So how do you keep people to stop doing that? What you got to do is you got to make a martyr. You're never going to go get 100% of the people to stop. There's always going to be some case. Some of the knockout cases go back to like 1992. I think that's the furthest one I've seen. It was an MIT student at the age of 21. He got punched in the face and knocked out, and then they decided to stab him. I don't know why, but I think that's the closest. But they were playing Knockout 2 at that time. You got to make a martyr. That's 100%. And let me tell you a little story about being a martyr. Nick Berg. I don't know how old you guys that are viewing this are, but Nick Berg was a journalist, a wartime journalist at the beginning of the Afghanistan war. It's not before Iraq, but this was Afghanistan. He went into Afghanistan, went behind enemy lines, and he got caught. And once he got caught, there was an internet video that came up, and they showed him beheading Nick Berg. I don't know about you, but that pretty much destroyed any dreams I had of ever being a wartime reporter. Not that I wanted to be, but it pretty much put a cold stop to like, oh, That doesn't seem like the life for me. I ain't about that life. But I digress. What you got to do is you got to make a martyr. And they've done it in a few occasions, but they're not hyping up the martyr as big as it is. They need to make a martyr the size of George Zimmerman. Like, I just seen George Zimmerman in the news again, and he's about, arguing with his wife, and they take his gun away from him. But why is George Zimmerman still in the news today? People argue with their wife or hit their wife every day of the damn week. It's a sad affair, but stuff like that happens. But you got to make a martyr out of this people. Like that person that hit that 78-year-old woman in Brooklyn. You got to send him up the river, and you got to get the news on it, and you have to have the news to push it. You got to have a political agenda type news coverage to push it. Almost like they were trying to push Obamacare out and things of that nature. You got to push, and you got to do these, these Dateline 60-minute episodes that show that the effects on people, and you got to have that guy that you make a martyr. You got to get him in front of the camera and promise him that you're going to give his family some money to basically tell about how it was stupid and it was a bad decision. You got to strike fear. Fear is what you got to do to get rid of this knockout game. And that's the only way I can see it happening. But that's my personal opinion on knockout in general. Thank you guys for watching. It's been your boy Wings of Redemption. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to my channel. I will be bringing you PlayStation 4 gameplay. I play with a lot of fans. If you really want to play with me, you can follow me on Facebook, which is in the description below. If you really like, you can follow me on Twitter too. If you don't use Facebook, I kind of link my Facebook links to my Twitter. But as always, hope you guys have a wonderful evening, and I'm Audi 5000. Peace, pimps.